Aztecs idle this Saturday, so I'm surprised you're here. I figured you would just take the week off, Coach.
Well, you know what? I had to see you tonight, so I definitely wanted to do
nice?
this. And
Isn't
these
that
great
nice?
people at Claim Jumpers, so
we love it.
It's all good.
Yeah,
so,
man, it's great to see everybody out here again tonight. And if you have yet to join us, as if just coming out to see us isn't enough.
Right.
Every Wednesday night, the happy hour specials here at Claim Jumper. The mini tri-tip dip, that's kind of my recommendation. Fish taco, sliders, wings, the whole deal, all of them $2. Drink specials start at $3.25 in the saloon, which is once again jam-packed to talk a little Aztec football tonight. And we appreciate everybody coming out. On the phones here on AM 600 Kogo, or if you're watching on the internet, where Scott said we have viewers. Everybody be on your best behavior in here tonight. There are viewers from Africa, Taiwan, all over the world, Aztec fans, beaming in to watch tonight's webcast, Coach.
That's
so,
great.
That's
great.
If you'd like to join us on the phones, driving around town, if you can't stop by, 858-569-TALK. That's 858-569-TALK. Or toll-free, for those of you in Africa, Coach Hoke will pick up the tab. 1-888-577-1946. So you are all more than welcome to be involved in the program tonight. Coach, you sat here last week and you said to me, well, the Missouri game was obviously tough, disappointing. We looked at the film and we put it behind us, and I'm proud of the way the guys have acted and reacted and just got right back to work to get ready for Utah State. It's not that I didn't believe you,
right,
but it's sometimes easier said than done to put a tough loss behind you. But then you go out on the field Saturday night and you go 4 for 4 touchdowns on your first 4 drives. So you won me over. I believe you. The guys did a pretty good job putting it behind them.
Well, we got to, number one, I want to thank those in the community that were there, those Aztec fans, and fireworks or no fireworks, we wanted to do our part, and so it was great, and it was great to have the student support that we had, and that was a lot of fun. But, we've got a tremendous staff. I'm very fortunate to have the guys on the staff that we have, and guys who have coached a lot of football and been with a lot of different teams, and we say we're seasoned, not old, but there's a lot that those guys all add in getting the team focused and getting ready to go play the next game. And then I think our seniors did a tremendous job in the leadership of our team. There's quite a few guys who aren't seniors, but they played a lot of football at San Diego State, and I thought they all did a great job of staying focused on what the task was at hand.
And Utah State, let's make no mistake, I think maybe some people who didn't pay that close of attention said, well, 41-7, so Utah State must not be all that good. They're pretty good. And you look at their resume and the games that they've played this year, and you play Oklahoma within 7 points. That tells me something about you. And their quarterback, he didn't look very good Saturday night because you guys didn't really allow him to look very good. Your coverage was outstanding, at least from my perspective. I don't know how many times he looked downfield the other night and then had to pull the ball down because no one was open. And then I thought your guys on defense did a great job of containing him because he's a very elusive runner.
Well, the kids did a tremendous job. And I think, our two corners, Jose Perez and Leon McFadden, have really played good football for us. And it's allowed us to be more creative in some other areas. And I also think Rocky and the staff, Mark Smith and Tony White defensively, really had a nice plan. And to keep him in the pocket a little bit, to spy a linebacker out, and Demetrius Barksdale did a tremendous job at that a couple times. And so anytime he wanted to pull that ball down and run it, we had a guy pretty much assigned to him. And Demetrius runs well, and he's what we call a lengthy guy, long-armed, and did a nice job and tracked him down. And, if you can harass the guy who gets the ball every time, you got a chance. And, by the end of the game, I think he had been hit enough, and I think he, had been pressured enough where, those balls just weren't getting down the field, or the one that Burhay intercepted. Nat made a great undercut on the route, but he threw that a little later than he wanted to because he had to move in the pocket too much.
Something I was thinking about going into the game on Saturday, and we talked about on the pregame, was the fact that two of Utah State's assistant coaches were coaches that worked with Rocky Long in New Mexico, and I thought to myself, well, that's going to be a little challenging because they probably know Rocky Long's defense as well as anybody. They practiced against it probably for 2 or 3 years. So did Rocky make a few little minor adjustments, or did he just tell his guys, hey, let's just play it well?
Well, we tweak it every week, for what that team, the opposition gives you. And I thought, he really dialed it in pretty well. And when they wanted to run their option scheme, I think we had enough numbers. A couple times we didn't play great assignment football, but we had enough numbers to where you had to make sure the dive and the quarterback were taken care of. And then we got bodies to the ball, and that's critical in football. There's 11 places on a person to put a helmet, and that's what we want to try and do every time.
11 places to place a helmet.
Yep.
So if everybody's in on the tackle, you can cover all 11.
Yes.
Is that the idea there?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
So,
well, hey, let's be honest, man. Your defense through 2 games on your home field and establishing your home field has allowed 7 points, and that was on basically about a 15-yard drive that Utah State had in that game. So your defense really, really played well, and I wanted to start by talking about the defense because most people look at the 41. I know you like to look at the 7. As you said going into the game, I want fireworks, but I'll be happy with a 3-2 score.
Right.
So the defense is what sets the stage for your offense to be able to get the ball and go down the field and build a lead. You don't do that without shutting them down.
Well, if they don't score, they don't win. And so that's part of, playing good defense. But offensively, I really, the way that we handled the football in the first 4 possessions and how our offense was able to run the ball, and then we got some critical throws from Ryan and the job by the receivers and some of the play action game. I thought that was huge for us, and as the game went on, I think we wore them down a little bit, and at the same time I thought, we kept pushing the accelerator, which we wanted to do because you have to finish teams, and I thought the offense did a nice job all but the first possession of the second half, where we move the ball a little bit, and then we get a 15 or 10-yard holding penalty, and then we get a procedure penalty that put us back more, and you get in those bad down and distance situations. But, overall, I thought offensively that our guys did a good job.
Ryan Lindley, we talked about it last week and how hard maybe in a good way, Ryan is on himself. And it seemed to me, though, the message from you, the message from your staff to Ryan was, you're playing fine. Relax a little bit. Take your time a little bit. Don't rush it. Everything's going to be there. Just from the eyeball test, he looked like a relaxed quarterback, even more so on Saturday night. Some of that has to do with your offensive line, which continues to build a wall around him. He evades the rush a couple of times. Right. But he did seem like he was just more relaxed and at ease throwing the ball Saturday night.
Well, and believe me, I'm not a quarterback coach of any kind and don't really want to be. But the one thing my message was is let the game come to you. Don't try and force the game. It will all come to you. You know what you're doing. There's not a guy who works harder at game plan and studying an opponent than Ryan. And, the throw he made to Sullivan, I think, was one of the plays that he really showed some growth and maturity because he got himself out of the pocket. He kept his eyes down the field. They had a little pressure, and Brandon Sullivan did a great job of extending the route down the field when Ryan started to scramble a little bit. And it was a great throw and a great catch, but it was a lot of growth on just letting things happen and being confident in what you're doing and the guys you're playing with out there. And then on the drive in the I think it was the first possession of the second half, he did a nice job of tucking the ball and scrambling for about 6 to 7 yards. And,
I remember that.
And
I
think those are some things that show, the maturity level as he keeps on growing as a quarterback.
In general, your offense through 4 games, I mean, I look at, several things, and we see the first game, DeMarco Sampson had the big game, couple of touchdowns, 170-some-odd yards. Ronnie Hillman had the big game at New Mexico State, made the big plays at Missouri. In a lot of ways, I was happy to see Ronnie Hillman have, a good solid 89 yards and a touchdown the other night, but you guys still score 41 points. I mean,
right.
The point being that if you want to go ahead and try to take Ronnie away, be our guest. And if you want to look at DeMarco, fine, because it was kind of due for Vincent Brown to have the big game. I mean, you have so many places you can go.
Well, it really, they were content playing 9 guys or 8 guys in the box, and they really wanted to stop the run, which we all do defensively. Because if you can make a team one-dimensional, then you can really do some things. And I think Al did a nice job in the play calling and executing some play action and finding, VJ on some routes, DeMarco on some routes. I think, the 4th and 2 call was an excellent call and an excellent executed play by everybody involved. And you got those 2 young tight ends who are, going to be pretty special when you look at Gavin and Bryce Quigley. So, that was neat to see.
You're always a step ahead of me, Coach, and that's why you're the head guy at 3-1. But I was going to almost do a whole segment on that 4th and 2 call.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because you and I talked about it. You've talked about it. You've had 2 or 3 4th and 1s this year, and I know it's upset you that you haven't made that.
Believe me.
And I know, and I know that you're going to keep trying to make that. But it was the play call, which was excellent. But Ryan's fake was phenomenal. I mean, he had the ball on his hip there. Nobody even knew he had it. And the reason nobody knew he had it is because Brandon Sullivan just gave up his body to dive into a pile and basically get battered by 3 or 4 guys.
Right.
And then, it puts a smile on your face when you see everyone do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And the only guy that was covering Bryce Quigley out in the flat was the chain gang guy.
Right.
I mean, that's a dream to have a play work out like that.
Well, from the offensive line showing an aggressive push on the defensive line and not, setting up for pass. And Bryce Quigley, the way he blocked down and really held the block, which sold the guy who was either had him man-to-man that this was a run, to Ryan's fake and Sully's follow through, and then Bryce releasing, and Gavin's a guy that people kind of recognize. So you see the guys trailing number 88, and Bryce is over there in the one side of the field by himself, and it was just well executed from the snap to the guys up front offensively to Ryan and how his play fake was and where he hid the ball, and Sully. Again, he's kind of an unsung hero in this whole deal. His fake, and for a true freshman like Bryce to do what he did, and that time in the game was pretty special.
That was a big-time play, no question about it. Gave you guys a 21-0 lead, part of a what would really almost be considered a perfect start offensively, as the Aztecs scored on all 4 of their first possessions and ran away to a 41-7 win over Utah State. Plenty still to discuss about last Saturday's game. We will open it up for questions here at the Claim Jumper. Polly is over here. She'll have the microphone. Passing around if you have some questions for the coach. Find out a little bit about what the team is up to here during the bye week, and talk about some of the other key performers I thought in that victory over Utah State on Saturday night. It is Chris Ello. It is the coach, Brady Hoke. It is Claim Jumper in La Mesa. Grossmont Center, it is where we spend our Wednesday nights on AM 600 Kogo.